One of the biggest mistakes that you can make as a business owner is if you are hyper protective of your money instead of being hyper protective of your time. This mindset is the biggest reason why your business will never grow, it'll stay small, and you'll probably end up working full-time hours for the rest of your life in order to make money. And why do I say this? Well, my name is Lloyd Yip, and in the last several years, I've helped over 130 plus companies around the world scale massively using systems, technology, and automation. And one of the patterns that I've definitely see across all my most successful clients is that they do not hoard money and instead they deploy it as an asset. Now, let me explain a bit more about what it is that I mean. When it comes to money, you can always earn more of it. It's actually an infinite resource, but time is not an infinite resource. So when you think about the most successful businesses in the world, the way that they're able to be so productive is that they're able to generate more time, or they're able to do more with the time that they actually have. And in order for them to do that, they have to be able to deploy capital. They have to either hire employees, which means you can buy more people, which then gives you more hours to work with, or you're able to spend money in order to generate more efficiency with your time, such as having automations, having softwares, even things like training and buying consulting programs. That essentially allows you to just be more efficient with the time that you're spending, because now you're able to do it on higher level activities, or you're able to get more impact out of the things that you're doing because you know how to do it better. That's exactly what consulting is. So whereas a less successful entrepreneur will choose to essentially do everything themselves, maybe they'll send out 100 messages all on their own every single day, a more intelligent entrepreneur will be willing to spend the relatively small amount of money to get a software on board in order to send out 100 times as many messages with 100 times less amount of hours. Or that more intelligent entrepreneur will buy a program that will teach them how they could just do it 10 times more efficiently and with a higher conversion rate than if they were to continue doing it their old way. And obviously buying that consulting program might have costed some money, but now they're able to get more bang for their buck. They're able to generate more results for the time that they're spending. Another example would be content, right? A lot of people might think, you know what? I don't want to spend money into a video editor. I don't want to spend money learning about how to generate content. I would rather just continue doing these very manual outreach activities that I already know how to do and that I've already systematized. But the reality is, content is something that's one to many. You create a single banger piece of video content and 1 million people might see it. And then you're able to pretty much multiply it yourself, and you don't need to spend any more time in order to get that overdrive effect, right? So there's all these methods that you can actually use in order to be more one to many, in order to be able to generate a significantly wider impact zone. But all those methods require an investment up front. So if you're hoarding money, if you're unwilling to spend because you're afraid of losing the capital that you've worked so hard for, understand that not being able to deploy capital in order to hire help, or in order to be able to generate content, or in order to be able to leverage software or learnings, that's going to ultimately slow down your business in the long run. And I have this conversation all the time with prospects, right? Sometimes they'll come to me and they love what it is that we do, and they're fascinated about potentially working with us, but then obviously there's a price tag involved, and then the fear kicks in. They think to themselves, you know what? I worked so hard for this money, I don't want to give it up. But what they don't understand sometimes is that the knowledge that they would have gained would have given them a massive shortcut. They would have been able to double, triple, quadruple their business in the next 6 months if they were willing to make that step. But without that knowledge, they might just stay where they are for the next 12 months, for the next 18 months. And something that you'll hear all the time from people is, you know what, with all this free content online, with all these free resources available, and there's like free trials of software, I don't necessarily need to spend money. I can just work with whatever is free. Yes, there's all this information online, but the reality is the information online is scattered. It's not fully complete. And more importantly, it isn't tailored and customized to you. So you need to pretty much look at all these millions of videos and figure out what is my step-to-step roadmap. And what's even harder is because there's so much information online, you got to figure out what things to not do and what not to put attention on, because it's very easy to get caught in this analysis by paralysis thing, which just makes you overwhelmed and then you don't end up doing anything. With coaching, it allows you to have a very specific roadmap, which is directly customized to you, which allows you to actually have a battle plan, which will get you to your specific set of objectives and goals. And a good coach will remove all the different things that will distract you and just make sure that you're doing the things that matter right now. And to try to deconstruct what that perfect roadmap would be for yourself, you'll probably have to go through months, if not years, of trial and error before you're able to figure out your own path. There's a reason why even Tiger Woods has a swing coach. There's a reason why even Michael Jordan has a shooting coach. And certainly all the best entrepreneurs are in masterminds and they have coaches in order for them to actually get to the results faster, because they're not willing to hoard money when they know that it comes at the cost of time, which is the only asset that actually matters. So the challenge that I have for you is, do you embody the mindset of a broke entrepreneur or an entrepreneur that actually wants to thrive? Because once again, here's what broke entrepreneurs do. They don't hire talent because they're afraid of the payroll. They don't deploy tools or technology because they're afraid of the cost of said softwares. They don't ever bring on mentorships because once again, they think that, oh, I can just learn it on my own and I can watch a bunch of videos and that's sufficient. Once again, ask yourself, how long will it take for you to get to the results if you do this? How many mistakes will you probably have to make that you didn't have to make if you were to bring on help? How much stress will that be giving you additionally if you were to choose to do this all on your own? And how much opportunity cost are you leaving on the table? The reason I've scaled is because I've been willing to deploy my capital even when it's been scary. I've been willing to hire employees when I was simply too overworked myself to do any more on my own. I was willing to hire coaching and consulting when I simply did not have the skill set that I absolutely needed. I was willing to bring on softwares when things were just too slow in my business and I needed things to move a little bit quicker. Things like hiring an appointment setter, things like bringing on a video editor. At this moment, over $2,000 per month that I'm spending on both coaching and softwares. And I've spent over 70 grand in total on masterminds in these last 4 years. But this is the reason why I've been able to scale. So the question is, are you willing to adopt that mindset as well? What do you value? What are your goals? Ask yourself those questions. So with that being said, if this has been valuable to you, please just drop me a follow and subscribe here. Definitely find me on social media. My Instagram and my DM are here, and have a conversation with me. I really would like to actually engage with you guys. So with that being said, if you're still curious to learn more, here's a couple of recommended videos that you can check out, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.